Hey guys, I'm going to make a lead magnet for my Instagram using Go High Level, probably Claude, and then a little bit of Python, and I wanted to live stream that. This is going to be a good resource if you are looking to use the Go High Level API, because I've spent a lot of time working on it, and you can replicate what I'm doing here and probably get off to a good start with the Go High Level API. So I'm going to start with a note here, and I'm going to just kind of detail out the task I'm trying to do just for my mental space. So first I need to get a there we go. Magnets, developer count, get sandbox data, maybe see if Go High Level has sandbox, and then get a script that runs locally that will export sandbox data from both sub accounts to a CSV. And that's probably good because even just having that process automated will make a good lead magnet for Instagram. So I'll just start with that for today. Let's see if I can get a developer account with Go High Level. I haven't had to make my own because usually I use some of my clients. So I need to reCAPTCHA is the hardest part of every project. I have to change that right after this video, or I can just do continue with Google. Sweet. Now, how do I get to the sandbox? Go High Level developer. No, I don't need to be developer marketplace. Nope. No. Mm-hmm. Try logging in here. No. Nope. Mm. Let's watch a YouTube video. I think I need to somehow make a new account here. Maybe I can do a free trial. Mm. This is always the toughest part of these projects, is just figuring out how to do stuff. Mm-hmm. Nope. There was an ability to make a sandbox account somewhere. Developers who sign up for the app marketplace. Let's try this. Put in a password you can't see. verification email. Verify. So I think it's verified here. Sweet. So it looks like we have an account now with an account ID. See if we can open this and see what happens. Be nice if it just worked. Got to do another verification code. Let's see if this works. Yay, this looks familiar. So let's see if we can add a sub account. I want to make 2 sub accounts so that I can demonstrate how to pull data out of both of those with a Python script with basically one click. Because when you have multiple sub accounts in Go level, you have no way of viewing all the data in one window. And so it's a huge problem for Go level users because they have to go through each sub account and click download and then open the spreadsheet and combine all those spreadsheets. And if you have more than a couple thousand rows, that gets really hard on your computer, and it probably is just a huge pain for a lot of people. And so that's why I wanted to make a Python script that pulls all of the contacts and pipelines out of Go level on an automatic basis and puts them in one spreadsheet, and then make a reel about that. First, I have to figure out how to make a sub account. Let's use Claude. Oh, sub accounts. That was easy. Let's see if there's one with demo data. That's nice. Let's do a hair loss clinic. try this. Big guy. No thanks. Dun, dun, dun. Let's make another sub account for another hair loss clinic. So now I have 2 demo accounts, which is good. I'm going to make API keys for both of them. And then instead of putting a bunch of manual data in there by hand, I'm going to have Claude write me a Python script that fills the accounts with demo data for the real. So I have these 2. I'm going to come over here to API keys now. Looks like I have to go into each account and then make an API key that way. Here in settings, generate key. What? Sandbox accounts. So, let's ask Claude. I have a sandbox account. Go high level. It's not letting me generate API keys for the sub accounts. Is there any way to use the API still on this demo sandbox account? Man, that sucks. Because it's going to be hard to make a reel without actually having demo data. Let me Google. Oh, sweet. Yeah, using Claude or ChatGPT is just, it saves me so much time. I wouldn't even be able to figure out half of the stuff I do now without this. It says I still need a API key here. Because I know Go High Level doesn't automatically generate them anymore. They used to automatically generate them. I'm not sure if that affects sandbox accounts or not. Here we go. Settings. Switch to agency view. Let's try that. Settings, API keys. Yeah. Yeah, see this. Discontinued of auto generation of location API keys. No. It doesn't let me generate API keys for sandbox subaccounts. Is there instead a demo API account or something that I can test API calls on? So that's really what we want to do. I don't care if it's my demo account or not. I just want to be able to write a script that can show people how the Go High Level API works. Let's see if there's just some sort of demo API key here. Yeah, I wish you could use the agency API key, but you can't access sub-account data with the agency API key, unfortunately. And that's one of the many things you learn about the Go high level APIs when you start using them. Yeah. See, I don't have a token. Let me see if Google spits anything out. I don't want to make a server. Jeez. Well, I guess I could use this UI and then test the script on other accounts that I have. And then use, yeah, that's going to be tough. But I can't test it on my accounts on stream because it has sensitive data. I can start writing the script at least. I'll show you how I'll do it. Some vibe coding. should reference another local CSV that has the sub account name, API keys for each sub account, and then iterate through all sub accounts when extracting. Have the function upsert the context data in the CSV by ID. And what else? It's probably a good start. Yeah. Create the needed hierarchy CSV for the credentials and subaccount names. Let's see what this comes up with. Extended and web search. So the web search should be able to pull up the API docs, and then extended obviously just makes it way better when writing code. Claude does pretty well with Python. I haven't used a ton of other languages, a little bit of JavaScript, but it's also pretty good with JavaScript, and it's really good with Python. Definitely faster than anything I could do. Sometimes it's not, it definitely doesn't do a good job as a professional data engineer or software engineer would, but it's way quicker, and you end up with the same end result usually if you don't need a super robust system. Then using an LLM to write code is usually a better option. So there's two APIs. GoILevel has two APIs. They call it V1 and V2. Let me talk you through these really quickly. And I prefer to use this V1, and for most people it's way simpler because you just need that API key and you can access everything. You can upload stuff to GoILevel, you can download stuff from the API. The only endpoint that's been missing that I haven't been able to access with this API 1 here is account of messages, account of conversations by rep. That's the only endpoint that I haven't been able to automatically extract from here. And using this API, it's a huge pain because it has a more complicated authentication process than just the API key. So you have to go through a bunch of steps to get the credentials you need to use this API, including I actually have a whole nother Python script that sets it up for me. That's how complicated it is. And this is OAuth. It's called OAuth. It's supposed to be the way of the future, but it's, if you're just extracting data from the API for yourself, it's a huge pain to deal with. So let's see what Claude's spat out. Yeah, this looks pretty good. And so what I'm going to do now is just run this with an account that I have an API key for and make sure it's working. And then I'll basically figure out how to piece the reel together with that working code, and then with my sandbox accounts here, and just how to piece it together in a reel that makes it look like I'm doing it. And then, yeah, but I'm gonna go ahead and end the stream here.